So we're back for the last laps of show business, and Kwame Dazi has joined us again. Kwame, you were there, you were following everything we were talking about. So what's your view on Brother Samir's song, the audio, and anything else we've talked about since he sat here?
I think the song, just as Doc said, I didn't like the quality, the sound quality. I didn't like his singing as well, you know. Before I was coming on here, I watched it and I tried to do just a quick research on the type of keys that he sings. Okay, it appears he likes singing in F.
Okay,
and sometimes in C sharp. Now this particular one was in F as well, but it didn't sound like an F. He was struggling. Mint issue. You could hear some screeching sound.
Right.
You see,
appealing to the ears.
It wasn't. I wish you could have maybe sung in E flat. Come down, kakra. So someone so it was just like that. And the video, I think he could have done better. The choreography, the colonna kind of yes. You know, sometimes it doesn't really matter. But also we want to see the aesthetic value of the video, of the music and all that. This one obviously
and the video, you also saw the green car with the green smoke. What's the concept? My favorite scene. It's like hip hop, man. Drake in the building.
And you saw the energy the way he got from the car.
Yeah,
like just out like this with the green smoke.
Anyways, since we're still talking about music, let's delve deep into the evolution of our music. We can go back as far as 30 years to now and trace the journey of our music up until now. Are we getting better or we're getting worse? Kwame Dazi.
Better in terms of song,
in terms of production, yes.
Okay, obviously, human beings as a people, we've grown, we've advanced, you know, since creation. You and I were not there, but we've heard stories of how we all emerged or how the universe was created, if those stories are true. And even if you cast your mind back maybe 20 years ago, the things we used to do, so many things have changed. And you didn't tell me that we haven't had improvement in some of the things that we have in this country, even in our own infrastructure, in our own developmental projects. We may not be so satisfied with the things that we've done as a people, as in maybe roads and all that. But obviously there have been changes. So the change has affected every aspect of our culture, our food, our music and everything. So music has evolved. There have been so many changes in terms of, as in the music structure, the genre of music, and which is largely influenced by sometimes acculturation, as in people being influenced by other cultures. So that somebody would travel to Germany and then
hear something.
So okay, let me do some fusion. Okay, so we've had all those things, and even our own high life. How did it come about? You know, we were doing our traditional music with our local drums, with our maybe a Hawaiian CMB and things, but until the white man decided to add modern Western instruments to the art type of music and call it higher life of music. So culture, influence of foreign culture, other people's cultures, all these things have affected our music through high life, burger high life, contemporary high life, whatever high life, city high life, or so did. Then we came to a point where some people decided to do spoken word or rhythmic African poetry on what is supposed to have been hip life music, or what is known as hip life music. Hip life music. So the music kept changing. Even the hip life, there have been so many variants of hip life music. It got to a time there was some crank. They said something was azonto, which I still think it was just a dance type, which emerged at the time. A certain rhythm was in vogue.
Also connected to hip life.
So many changes have come. No, so that is just maybe the sound and the rhythms in the music that we have. But we look at even how we marketed our music.
The business side
of the music. Marketing, distribution.
Yes.
So the person goes into the studio, and in the very early days where maybe some of us were not born, how they did their music, you'd have to play most of the musical instruments live and record. When you made a mistake, it meant that you had to maybe go back and do the whole thing again. Then technology also came in and brought a change to the whole thing, so that something that perhaps you would have involved so many people to do, you can do it one after the other, maybe use the computer effects here and there. So that also affected the rhythms that we had, trying to put in some, let me quote unquote, unorganic kind of rhythms or sounds into our music. So the technical aspect of it all. So let me move forward.
Some changes. Yes.
So moving forward,
right?
Or should we not go to marketing?
No, we'll come back to the marketing.
So that is sound. So the sound that is it,
and a part of business.
That's it.
Because you touched on distribution and then promotion. Arnold, these changes that Kwame Dadzie has mentioned, have they come to better what we hear in terms of music? Or there's still something we need to go back and pick from the past and include in our music production?
In the last couple of years, this is very debatable. It has been very debatable.
Right.
Because there's some section of stakeholders who believe the sound 2 decades ago, a decade ago, was better than what we are producing now. And so you actually have Sam Mallet who would criticize our current sound. However, there's also some school of thought that believe that this generation of artists, the Sarkodie, the Shatawales and Stoneboys, have been able to elevate our sound to a certain pedestal.
Right.
And so, as for these arguments, we could go back and forth, for quite a while, and we will not have a common ground. And so, you can also leave it to the sound aspect, like the Freddie Mers and Kwame to some extent, Christianes for his experience and expertise in the field. But the point is, yes, the sound the latter years was good, but you can also not deny the fact that these young guys have been able to project our sound to a certain level where it's even attaining international recognition.
Right.
That's not easy.
Right.
And so we must give credit where it's supposed to be and bash where it's supposed to be as well. But generally there's been some improvement. And mind you, we will not always get it right. Once you get you understand the fact that the sound has evolved. In the evolution process, you might get some disconnect, you might get some shaft in there as well. Because once you accept the fact that we are supposed to be dynamic and not static, clearly you would have an infusion of a sound that would mess up the original sound. And so we need to admit the fact that, well, it may not be as perfect as it used to be, but based on where we are, and most critically, the demography of the people who are consuming the song plays a huge factor.
It plays a huge factor.
Huge. Because
what they want from music.
Yes. At the end of the day, what are they vibing to? What are they patronizing? Because when you take the link from production to the artist to marketing and distribution, like you mentioned, the most important element in that link is the consumer. Is the fan, is that person who is patronizing the song. If he says he wants this taste, there's little you can do about it. And that's how come some artists, they are known for a particular proficiency when it comes to sound. But for some reason, in the course of their career, they will shift. And so you go like, but this gentleman, Sami,
Brother Sami right now.
But for all you know, Sami is appealing to a certain audience based on some research that he has done, he and his team has done. So listen, this is what the people are vibing to.
Let's give it to them.
So sometimes you listen to some criticism of medical and you wonder, why are they... He has made a research and realized that the fans are vibing to this sound.
So he's feeding them with that sound.
He's feeding them with the sound. Because I've always maintained that, listen, if you produce a sound, you release a product, and it is not patronized, it will tell you something.
It will tell you something.
It will tell them, boss, I deal with the unfoul, so let me just go back to what I want. But once a far,
so when we have situations where a certain kind of genre picks. Afa. Yet you have music experts telling you production is weak, content is weak, so and so is weak. Yet the people are vibing to it. When you find yourself in this situation, what do you do?
Okay, so the experts, they are telling you what they know.
Yes, technically.
They will tell you exactly what it's supposed to be. However, the artist, he may be listening to you. It depends on what the artist wants.
Yeah.
So, for example, let's even use the Grammy as an example. The Grammys are looking for artistic value, technical proficiency on the song. So if you're an artist and this is your target, the Grammy is your target, you know what to do. If you also know that you need to appeal and just hit the streaming numbers, just go on the charts, sell. You know what to do as well.
What to do.
So it depends on what you want. But the experts there, they are right in doing what they are supposed to do, because he's going through his schooling and all that stuff, and he's supposed to analyze the song based on the expertise that he has. But as an artist, what do you also want to do? So it depends, because at the end of the day, they are not paid to hit number one, to sell, to stream.
Questioners, yes, you have also followed music for several decades, especially when it comes to gospel music. You're going to tell me what the major changes have been, or the major additions have been, and if you have, some time, add it to the gospel side. What are the major changes that you have realized working with gospel artists, working on gospel songs throughout these years?
Okay, I think that from where I sit as an artist, manager, marketer, and of course producer, and a musician myself too.
Yes,
a frustrated one for that matter. I think I would say that a lot has really gone on for the last 20 years.
Right.
The last 20 years.
Yeah.
It's been huge, because it's especially when the issue of social media marketing and what have you came to join music, it blew the whole thing out of proportion to a new level altogether. We've really grown from recordings, and of course, it's not the fault of our forefathers. Maybe they were not fortunate with the kind of equipment we have now. In those days, if you ask Namachi the day or Boba J. Adolfo, I mean, you go to Arc Studio, you see some 4 pieces drums here, everything. They play it live. You are sitting there
organic,
recording. And when I was traveling with Nanan Pedu, I was asking him what they were doing when we were going to France. And he says that in those days, they can, if they want to record one song, they can rehearse for like 3 months. They rehearse like 3 months on a song.
On a song. Everything well positioned.
And they will do rehearsals for like 3 months. And then they will set a date for recording. Now, the funny part that he said that caught my attention is that he said when they set, the sound engineer will tell them, okay, we are ready. And then they will press the thing for action for record.
Right.
And then the person that is playing the cowbell, if he does mistake, instead of playing ko, if he does mistake and play ka, they have to stop.
And take it again.
And this was what they went through, our forefathers, the ramblings and what have you, all the senior they don't cost and Amachi the days, our question propages. This is what they went through to be able to produce the kind of music we're enjoying.
Right.
And if you go through their background, in those days they were not even bothering themselves about music videos. If you check, most of our legends, they don't even have music videos to go by their songs, because at that time it was your crafts, the market asking you performance. So record, perform, you are on tour. Yeah. So 6 months, 1 year, you are on tour. And particularly myself, that is my upbringing. That's how I started with my music career. Right. Like, I used to be part of a band. I play Amachi the days when I was his boy. I was part of Kabobo's team and all that kind of thing. Yes, I was part of them. We were going on tour. I was with Kabobo's Nyati. I was part of his team. Those Nyati. And you know that time, KK Kabobo was the biggest artist in Ghana.
Right.
A lot of people don't know that.
KK Kabobo.
Yes, KK Kabobo was once the biggest artist we have in Ghana with the Nyati song. And I was part of his team. We're traveling and when we travel, we go and play. We can load money in sacks. Wow. If anytime Kabobo comes, you ask him, he'll tell you. He was the richest. Like those are like how we see Shatawale display money on everything. That's how King Kabobo.
Had it.
Yes, he had it. So, and then we had new breeds of young men coming up who have gone through apprenticeship, also springing up to another generation. And I'm thinking that it is actually the generation that came to change the dynamics of music.
Okay.
Because their taste preference, their expectations, what they want to dance to, everything changes. So we woke up one morning and music has evolved to a new hip-hop, Afro-pop. Arnold will tell you all the pop-pops. It has evolved to a new dispensation altogether. And so it has to, a lot of the artists, they have to conform.
Right.
Most of the legend, the senior one, they have to try and switch to conform to the new,
to what the guys are doing.
What the younger generation is demanding. So you have the younger generation looking for a new beat altogether, that you don't need to go to Zap Mallet to put all those guitar and all those Latin again. Somebody is putting a small speaker there, also are mixed and mastered. So we began having all these kind of changes and everything happening. And then also it also changes the new trend. Marketing also became something different. Because now somebody put music video here like this now and then it's in America.
Right.
Those days, do you know what you have to do for your music to be in America?
You have to move.
You have to move. The human being has to move.
Yeah.
Now the machines are moving. So somebody is hit, but the Sami has not traveled anywhere before. He has not traveled there. But if you go to America now, he has got huge fan base in America. He's got huge fan base in London. He's big, and people are actually calling us to bring him to come and perform.
Right.
Until COVID-19 came through.
Right.
So these are some of the changes and
that have
mathematics
come with
that
music.
have come. It has come. It is the generation, and this is what they want. This, when you talk to them, they said this is our time. They want the thing. They want. You could see somebody creating music, and you see somebody sitting under the table, and they are doing one corner. You see that, and then if you're an old man, you sit down and you ask yourself, what are these people doing?
Yeah.
Because the professor who has gone to Legon, and like Anwar said, has done all the staffings and everything in music, doesn't understand how a young boy woke up one morning and created some music and everything. Yes, but we're here. The same person that produced and was surprised. We were here and somebody brought, hey, Alaji, we never say anything. We accepted it. Yeah. So these are
the changes and
there's another point that we missed.
Right.
Let's talk about production.
Yeah. Production.
And these guys are experts. First. Live production was the issue. You cannot produce an album and not do live. The critics will mess you up. Now, Yaya is complaining that she's going to do a live album. Nobody is minding her. Ochame Kwame,
digital.
Ochame Kwame did Made in Ghana live. Less attention was paid to him. Guess what?
When he did, also did
Mary. Yeah. And no, you will be concerned with
copy paste. Delete.
Yes. So even production has evolved to the extent where you need to get a small boy, go sit somewhere and play with his computer and play blah 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 blah.
So the fast pace with which this evolution is taking place, is it definitely going to cut some people out of the race, throw them out of business, swallow them, and then get new people to fill the gap? Like you said, if Ochame Kwame is not tough and doesn't understand what really is happening, he's likely not to do live again. Because if I've done a whole live album and nobody's paying attention to it, and like you mentioned, the lady also did, Yaya did a whole live album, nobody's paying attention to it. She's likely to decide not to do again. If she won't go to the digital, then she will be out of business.
Kwame, what do you think?
I think it boils down to people's varied tastes.
Again, the
taste. Now, there are some people.
Are we the people causing them not to do live again because we don't want to listen to live music?
When the going gets tough, the tough gets going.
Right.
And that is when you need to know which people you are serving. You're an artist. You want to produce live music, for people to consume. But the fact of the matter is that the large number of people, the consumers, may not lean towards the kind of music that you're producing.
Right.
It doesn't mean nobody at all pays attention to that form of music. So you need to just target which people you think can buy into your whole philosophy or the type of music you want to do. Now, Ochame Kwame's Made in Ghana album, for example, if you listen to the entire album, this is quality production. And it passes for any serious quote unquote
music score sheet.
Yes, or if you like, let's say an academy of musicians sit and they want to
score the songs,
to do an appreciation of music albums. Let's put that down and then measure the kind of artistry that went into the whole production. It's a typical example of an album that will pass for this test. Okay, but there are some people who think that people have tastes for, let's say, music that will move them. Their song, for example, maybe if it was played live, we didn't have had the same feel, the same groove that we had with Kwame Eugene programming it. So if you think that the masses, who usually don't pay attention to technicalities, want a certain type of music, and you want to serve them, give it to them, people usually say, oh, medical, this is a medical on rapping. But the guy can rap.
He can rap.
Yeah. You see,
he can rap.
But in every society, there is a part that pays attention to the very, very deep details. Okay? You know, not everybody, everywhere, even in America, as we speak now, there are some people who are even complaining that recently I read a story about Cardi B and Candice Owen talking about the fact that she's destroying our society with the kind of music that she does. So if you compare what drives a lot of people to what actually gets a few people to appreciate, there is a difference. Obviously, almost always, what is loose, what is scarce, what doesn't really,
what is basic
doesn't involve so much strenuous thinking for you to absorb, will get the masses for you.
But Kwame, even let me try to add this. There's a trend, and I don't know if you have seen. As we speak, there is a typical general market for loose music. Called it like
loose music,
like the one Brother Sammy just played, a typical one that the bulls that type and everything that people wants to. And then also there's also that what you are describing as the taste.
Yes.
Of people, because that is what has allowed.
Arnold seems to disagree.
That's what has allowed.
There's one market.
There's no one market.
No. Let me explain why there's one market. There's one market.
That is what has
given market. Arnold, I'll let you come in.
That is what has actually given market to like the likes of Isundu and all these people still trending across the world, having performances like what do you call it, Freddie Mercury, and these are persons that you listen to them internationally. They have huge recognition. Why? Because, and even the kind of push they are giving now, it's even forcing some of the younger generation to blend what they have with that.
Most of us are going back, picking it and coming.
The people who have even changed much more, and their change is exciting to me, is the gospel fellows. Even now, there's still a nostalgic feelings for most of people who wants to go and listen to Shiran Kanyame, Professor Kofi Abrahams, and what have you.
Back in the day songs, they still. But if you look at the kind of the way we have traveled, that sometimes if I look at like Kofi Sapong, the way he was able to put Bobo together, give us that music. If you look at Dana Hamilton, if you look at the new songs Dana is playing now, Adam, the fusing hip life to gospel music, and then giving it that kind of liveness and everything, it's just so beautiful. And that is where we are going now, because now. It's not just about... And sampling has become the in thing now to a large extent.
Exactly.
Kelly Rowland just sampled a Boteless song, Black Magic.
Exactly. And that also means that if we're able to strengthen our collections and what have you, it is going to be more music for
us.
For us.
Arnold, come in with your explanation to the one market and let's see.
There's nothing like a loose market and a serious market.
There's just a market.
It's one market. No, it's a feel good music, or they call the same market.
Right.
The same market for yes serious music or the corners. So one of these feel good music because when you produce a song, you don't say that where's the loose market? Where's the serious market? No.
But that could be determined on where you would love to pay attention to the marketing.
See, the point is,
maybe if he lands, we'll get him better. So land. Arnold has to land.
Let's allow him to land. Then we can
land. At the end of the day, when you produce a song, marketing, distribution, one platform.
Right.
One platform. All of them iTunes.
One platform. You see, Ochame Kwame, because I mentioned the same and Kwame does it, bachelor's that point.
Right.
Listen, when you actually expend a lot of money into doing live production, boss, and
easy. It's expensive.
It's very expensive. And so when you produce the album produced by live production and you not get the returns,
you
so
might even run out of cash for promotion.
And that is why somebody like Yaya is willing, because in her mind he's expended a lot of money to do live, but Ghanaians are not patronizing like they should.
To which market?
The same market. The same market.
Obviously, may have a different market. Why
which market?
He was producing that quality music.
Which market? You understand?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, that same market is what will patronize your serious music and your loose music. Yeah, cool. At the Begu, when market is there now? It's not the same old market that Kwame bought the made in Ghana. The same old market, but we are vibing to the Yeku, unlike the made in Ghana.
Right.
But like he said, there are some people or experts who will say this is quality music,
and this is what I want.
This is what is good. But at the end of the day, they bring the man cash.
No. So if we look at the cash as the ultimate point,
but it be the ultimate.
Okay, so looking at cash as the ultimate point, we're definitely going to be following the people that jam to the very light songs that you spoke about, the same very light song that
he made a quick example with the American system.
Yeah,
big man. In the last 5 to 6 years, it's been mambo rap. It's been raining for a long time. But guess what? When it came to the Grammy, because they look at artistic value and technical proficiency, they gave it to Nas.
But why don't we, if mambo rap is reigning for 5 years, you, the very technical people with music, why don't you find a way to accommodate the mambo rap or whichever other genre is moving that is light? Why don't you rewrite something to accommodate them so that it becomes a standard or template for whoever wants? Because clearly it is giving you the numbers.
No, it has. Then it means that there's two markets from what you are just saying.
Which market? I understand where you're coming from. No, I think we are using markets in different
right. Okay.
Markets as let's create an imagination in our mind. So markets as the place.
Okay.
That is what Arnold is talking about. So there's one market. So what I see where we all go to. And market as in the people.
Okay.
The groups of people.
The groups of people artists within the place.
Yes.
That's what the album is appealing to.
That's the album or the song is appealing to.
So my market.
Even with Arnold market.
Yeah. So
it is the same market but then we have different persons go to that.
No, so I got you. What he's saying is right, is correct. What you're saying is right. His market is the place.
That is where you bring
platform.
It's the same market to get your numbers.
Just one market.
Reggae will come and get their numbers from the same market.
In another sense of the word, the market is
the people.
Your target. Okay. Your target audience. That is your market.
Right.
You get me?
Right.
So they are both right in talking about the market thing.
Yes.
But I still believe that, you see, whatever you choose to do, you need to be ready for the consequences. If you want to do classical music in these times, classical music, go bust stuff.
I think Kokwi Salome.
Yeah, Kokwi.
Yes, Kokwi.
She's an opera singer.
Opera
singer. I remember one of these shows. Was it Project Fame? When she auditioned. Yeah. Where am I to ask her, are you opera singer? And then they wished.
Emma was for X Factor.
X Factor, was it X Factor? One of those. Then Emma asked if she could have a different twist to the singing, maybe an R&B twist, because she sings in the opera way, and that is not quote unquote popular music. That is more classical music. So there are people who have different tastes, and obviously if you do classical music, you wouldn't have the numbers like somebody who does popular music.
You won't have it.
So where do you want to fall? Do you want to do what the masses want, or you want to carve a niche for yourself in a small corner? So we say, oh, this one, he does music, intellectual, soothing music, jazz music, whatever music.
So if we want to strengthen our music market and get people to pay attention to us, what should we be looking at as our ultimate goal? Is it targeting awards scheme that will pay attention to technicalities, or we should target music that will cut across to a lot of people, whether or not it's technically apt?
At the end of the day, what are you looking for as an artist?
Right.
you want to make gains. Ours are just auxiliary; they are just an addition. But the most important thing, because why would a label want to spend on you? Why would the label want to expend resources in your craft?
To make the money back.
To make the money back.
Yeah.
So this market lose. Still, now me because see, I understand, but I will not buy it because somebody like Walasi.
Yeah.
Walasi has his market.
Yeah.
But the general market no only.
One Love the Kubolo
has his market. But at the end of the day, no, say a count you up. More Walasi. You understand? Because when he does his Wala concert Alliance Pastor, it is part because that's his market.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when we are counting the top 10 most reigning artists in Ghana, you will not mention Walasi. Because the general market that it's critical only
on count.
So yes, I'm doing the song to a certain audience. That's your market.
Right.
But it's that general market is key.
It's key. That's where everybody
comes. So there's some way be able to ensure that whether it's marketing, whether it's your production, whether it's your promotion, make sure that you play a part on that market. Critical. No, seriously.
That's the key.
Why do you think some labels drop artists from the label?
Yeah, when they are becoming.
No, also because
they are not bringing in anything.
We are spending. You are not in that general market. Although you have a market, you have a market. You have a niche market. Yes, you are appealing to a certain audience. But then we are looking for that general market for you to sell. Get the shows, get the guests, get the endorsement deals. If you are not getting it, then we are wasting it. So we will drop you.
Christianist. I know that he has his position and he's standing by it.
You drop me.
Christianist, are you still in your loose market? And what should we be paying attention to?
You see,
doing music to cut across, get the numbers, or we should focus on technicalities?
I think I will personally talk about creativity.
Right.
And which has become the hallmark for every artist growth. And I'm saying from where Arnold picked this and said that like the Grammys, what they look out for, they are for what the English you use. They say what they are for
artistic values.
Yeah, exactly.
They dismantle your song.
They look at it. So if based on if we want to have that international recognition, if we want to push, then I will say that it's important for us to go to that level, to advise our musicians to be much more technically inclined, such that they can produce songs that will meet that international class. Regardless, it is a demand and supply market we all belongs to. What do the Ghanaians want? The international market. What are people's expectations of an artist?
Right.
Because today an artist can decide, like the Oshami Kwame example. An artist can decide to go and produce a serious music, all score sheet music, whereby when you put it into the glass, everything fit correct. But then the people who even sit down and then criticize it, they will finish and they will not even put $1 on iTunes to go and download it.
Right.
And then you have some university boys, they will sit down they will hear yeah. And then sometimes when you go to the joint and you see the boys, the way they are talking there and they are listening to the songs, you ask yourself, what exactly?
Maybe the feel, the mood.
It's a different vibe altogether. Like that Kumerica boy be where come and interview sometime. Some Kumerica boy be here and they hear an interview. What's the name?
Kofi
Jamal. Ekoso.
Yeah.
Say like bruh. Say uko baby. No she boys too. Yeah. Say who trust you know your Mrs. Okay so me kwa kwa say.
You have
So you ask yourself and he's getting the numbers. He's getting the money.
Yes.
He's getting the attention. He's getting everything. You go to a time last 3-4 years ago.
They're wrapping up for me.
There were about 4 artists. If we are doing a show in those campuses and you don't invite them, forget it. Kwamina MP, Kofi Mole. There were about 4 of them. Kwesiata. These boys, if you are doing any show in the universities and you don't invite them, forget that your show is a flop.
It's a flop.
You go there, nobody will come. Right. Say, Kwame MP no day inside your show, and you are coming to Legon. Mapsa, forget it. It is the demand and supply. So it's the demand and supply.
Right.
So in as much as we are looking for quality, or in as much as we are looking for general market to be able to make the money,
let's
also think about the industry and how we can position Ghana on a bigger international platform and think quality too.
Kwame Dazi, your final touch on this one for me.
If the kind of music you do does not offend the sensibilities of the people, if it doesn't break any law,
right,
and it gives you the money or whatever you want to do it.
Do it. I like that. It's as simple as that. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming. Arnold, thank you very much. Arnold, your final words. Okay, Arnold is still maintaining his market. Arnold is maintaining his market.
There's no loose market.
Bisayesu, which market are you appealing to?
I'm for the loose market.
I know, right? Thank you very much for coming.
For the loose market.
All right, gentlemen, thank you for coming. I've really had a great